Hi, welcome on Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. This is the birth natal chart analysis. Person requested a couple of services, so thank him for the service as well. We've already sent them a free report that comes with it. They were kind of interested in everything, so we sent them that, and we did the predictive life prediction based on name and numerology. Numerology of the name and the birth date. Now, again, I'm going to say this again. Very important that when you get this information, you slow down. You have to be patient. I'm going to say it again. I've seen this a billion times. I've been doing this over and over again because you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't get the information, because it's your chart. You got to do your information. What I can do is show you what I see and help out in that area. I just have to make sure I'm very thorough. But from then on, it's not too much I can do, especially if a person's not patient. And I say that to everybody. Anybody that knows me says that. I just had a female send me an email, and she must have heard that video I just did today, which was, I was laughing because she said, she was like, I'm patient. But me and her have been going back and forth. She's like a sister to me. All right. Now, the first thing I notice is that triangle going into the family. And ironically, it is the fourth house. So that's interesting. You can kind of call that a yod. Some people call that the finger of God, the peak. That's like the tip. That's the tip of the pyramid, and the tip of the witch's hat, pointing right at that fourth house of family. And then it's at 17 degrees, and we know 17 is the number of karma. So we will be looking at that. Now, ironically, her first house is the first house with Aries. The AC is the ascendant, where the sun was going over the horizon when she was born. That's your ascendant. So her first house and her rising sign is Aries. And she has what's called a true natal chart. But you just have to be careful, because if you notice around the chart, it is changing with the count a little bit. But a true natal chart is like first house Aries, number 1. And that's what we have here. So Aries will be a little bit of aggression, and you can already see there's some type of past life areas that won't heal, some type of wound that won't heal. That's Chiron retrograde due to Aries. Now we're going to go around this chart, and we're getting all these houses that don't have a lot of activity before we go into the houses that do. Second house, finances. First house ruled by Aries. Second house ruled by Taurus. About finances, possessions, and a person's value system. And that's Taurus. Third house is Gemini. It's about your siblings, brothers and sisters, younger education, short travel, short distance. Gemini, depending on what house it's in, is known for short. If you see Gemini in a 10th house, the career house, that means this person has a part-time job or part-time jobs, and they really don't have long-term jobs. They might go from job to job. Gemini can imply relationships that don't have the maturity necessary, or in and out relationships, or got together but then they broke up type deals. It just depends on what's going on in the houses. Gemini, the third house, is very creative. Very creative poetry, creation, publishing. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, so it's all about thought and communication. Now, when you get to the 4th house with the family, and they're saying something's connected to the 4th house, the 12th house, and the 9th house. Fourth house deals with teenage to adult education, land and property or real estate, family and ancestors, the heart and the health. The heart and the health. Vehicles. Saturn retrograde, again, can imply someone who has a problem with authority, or they're always in a problem with authority, or in the past, like they have a problem with authority. Saturn retrograde can mean you really have to slow down and take your time. Sometimes when they do things, they think they're done, and for some reason, when they recheck, they have to redo it. Saturn retrograde can also mean abuse, person lacking patience. So the lesson they would have to learn, remember, Saturn deals with karma. So they're implying in the past life, this person had a problem with patience. And this is in the family sector. So that would be something they'd have to work on in this life. And again, I'm going to say it again. Like, what happens, I'm going to tell you how this works. When the universe is talking me. That's the gift I have. Everybody has gifts that they give back. So sometimes things are said, and the person right away, why they say that, I hope you're not saying this, because you're going to say what the universe tells you to say. That's just the way it is. Now, for people that really want to know what's going on in their life, they have no problem with that. This other female I'm talking about, I've been working with her for a long time. So you see people get better. Sometimes they don't get better. Sometimes they get worse. But it's all a process. But for people that know me, know I'm the stronghold. That's why I do what I do. And that's why they come back. So you got to tell them what the universe is saying, because if you're really looking for help, you got to take it when it's given to you. That's like going to the doctor and you're trying to tell the doctor what's wrong, and the doctor kind of says something, and right away you want to tell the doctor, no, that's not it. Okay, so then what you're telling me is my years of doing what I do is useless, and why would you come here if that's the problem? That's the situation. So that's the problem going on so far. There is something going on with that. And if you notice, that's where her planet that has the retrograde is Saturn. If you looked it up online, it would tell you Saturn retrograde can either be abuse, somebody that has a no-nonsense approach, can be somebody who's impatient, or somebody who's always in trouble with authority. 5th house is Leo. All about fun. Another very creative house, but it's all about fun, childlike behavior, children, traveling, anything, even sports, anything that's considered fun. 6th house ruled by Virgo. This is about the home. Virgo is about health, healing, service, small children, small animals, daily activities, subordinates. Now, Jupiter in the 12th house See, Jupiter used to rule Pisces. Now Jupiter rules Sagittarius. But Jupiter in the 12th house means you have a guardian angel. Your 12th house is all about serving others. And as you serve others, the universe will bless you. Whenever it looks like things are going down, money comes out of nowhere. Especially if you were helping other people. And this is where you have your Juno. That little asterisk with the cross underneath it. So you would have a serious relationship with somebody that has that Juno, but that Pisces 12th house energy. And remember that now Neptune rules Pisces. And remember also that Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So you might have a 9th house connection. Because as you see coming out of your 9th house is this whole situation. Like I said, it's a 4th house, 9th house, 12th house connection. And also Curious, that other asteroid, is about nurturing. So again, in your 12th house, as long as you continue to be inspirational, as long as you help other people, but you don't allow people to run you into the ground. And that's what that man said in Numerology. So you have to learn how to show people, help people, but best way to teach people is how to help themselves. Because otherwise they're going to run you into the ground. But Jupiter is like your protector. But Jupiter will also bless you with good fortune, finances, and even expansion. But that's primarily based on you serving other people as well. And once again, in your 11th house, you see Aquarius. Again, this is a people person, a community person, because Aquarius is all about helping others, the community. And Pallas is a social asteroid. So again, this is all about people. But now what you really want is Lilith in the 11th house. Now give me a moment. With Lilith in the 11th house, the person's pre-rational, instinctive, and wild self is most evident in the kind of future they envision, how they plan for it, and those who they ally themselves with to assist them in creating it. So this is a house of experimentation and experiences of finding themselves. See, Lilith with Aquarius is really like that outsider. Like they're going to go against the norm. Aquarius is known for going against the norm. Aquarius's ruler is Uranus. Uranus or Uranus. So Lilith could deal with a feeling of rejection or repression, possibly. But again, it'll be played out in this 11th house. So Lilith in the 11th house, she's either gonna be somewhat of a because he really Saturn retrograde is like Uranus. So this is a person that kind of goes against the norm. And sometimes you see people like that. They either outright oppose groups, or they might be in organizations or whatever, but they kind of always bring a little opposition in their own way. So each person with Lilith in the 11th house, it could be totally different. But this person seems to have a concern for helping people, social issues. 10th house, Capricorn. So you can tell she's a worker, career-minded. In the 10th house, Capricorn, career and reputation. So now we're going to look at 27 degrees Capricorn. Precise, brilliant, passionate character endowed with a vivid imagination and sharp analytical skills. Owing to one's personal qualities and exacting work, one achieves remarkable success and fame in science or in all occupations involving fire, ice, or furs. This degree heralds good luck. So you're seeing this with Aquarius, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and that can deal with science and technology, just like they're saying. And if you're talking about luck, then you're definitely talking about good fortune, and you're talking about Jupiter, and that's what you see. Good fortune right there is the 27 degrees. So long as she stays working and caring about other people, she can't go wrong. The universe will bless her. Now, even her Venus is at 22 degrees, and that's kind of like the twin flame number at 1111. And her 9th house is her true north node, which is a life purpose. So this person is traveling long distance, and even with Neptune, this is a teacher. And not only are they a teacher, they're at a higher level. Because see, when you see Neptune and you see Sagittarius, that's a person that can tap into the world around you as well as the universe around you, and they can get others to tap into it through them. So that type of person is like a bridge between the universe and people. And when you think about the entertainment world, you see those people that come that somehow they just seem to resonate with the masses. And remember, the 9th house is also about publishing, just like the 3rd house. And remember, as I said, Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. So Mercury means highly intelligent, very creative. And Venus and Jupiter work a lot alike, because Venus can also bless you with finances. But Venus is love, diplomacy, travel. See, this would be a really cultured person with a lot of class. Great communication skills, intellect, and thought. Now, Vesta is the area where you have to be careful, Because if you don't know how to take breaks, you can burn yourself out. Vesta deals with, like I said, that fiery energy. But Vesta can also deal with isolation. Anything that has heat or energy. And you just have to be careful with the ninth house, because the ninth house does deal with higher courts. And Vesta can also deal with incarceration. So you just have to be careful. And the ninth house also deals with higher courts, higher thoughts, higher courts, higher laws, and in-laws. And deals with philosophy and religion. So now when you look at her eighth house, Uranus in Scorpio can deal with science. Because really anything with Uranus, Aquarius, Uranus, and Scorpio can deal with science. But the eighth house ruled by Scorpio deals with everything. From sex to death to past lives, to souls, to esoteric information, mystical information, hidden information, twin flames, twin souls, soulmates, debt, owing people things, taxes, shared resources, utilizing other people's resources. It also deals with obsession, power controls, greed, doubting, accusing people of things they may or may not have done, compulsion, obsession, stalking, fears, watery emotions. Highly creative house, but it's a creative in a different way. Like in all those areas I just got finished naming. So again, Uranus and Scorpio can also mean sudden things. I'm just noticing how Uranus is at 0 degrees and Mars is at 27 degrees. Because Mars in the 8th house or Mars in Scorpio. Because Mars used to rule Scorpio. But now Mars rules Aries. Because this could be a highly intense situation with Mars and Scorpio. Scorpio also is a really good healer as well. They say Scorpio is one of the probably the most powerful zodiac sign in the 12 houses. So again, with the moon in Sagittarius and the moon rules Pisces, this person will, have a lot of dreams as well, because the moon rules the subconscious. All right, now her 7th house, Libra, deals with partnerships, relationships, contracts, possibly open enemies. And again, social issues, the justice system. And that's her moon sign. And again, her sun sign is Sagittarius. But both Libra and the moon tend to go internal. And what happens sometimes, a person can be idealistic. So you just have to be careful, because usually the world isn't idealistic, the world is realistic. So what happens is sometimes a person can deal with forms of letdown, some forms of depression, because a Libra wants to see everything balanced, and a Libra wants to see everything one way, especially with the moon. This is all internal. And sometimes when a Libra sees reality, they can withdraw. Or sometimes when they think they're right, if a person doesn't necessarily see it the way they do, they'll continue to try to find a way to get their point across. And depending on who you're doing that to, that could cause a lot of drama. But this is also the house of the vertex, that cross. That means a fated event, significant breakup, significant meeting, a soulmate, or a twin soul. So you might find yourself in a relationship with somebody who has a Sagittarius or Pisces energy. You might find yourself in a relationship with someone who has Libra type energy. So looking at the moon and Pluto in your seventh house, you know this is some type of soul or twin flame, twin soul relationship. Because both Pluto rules Scorpio, which deals with past lives and the soul, and the moon also deals with because they say when a person dies, their soul is sucked up to the moon, stripped of his memory, and sent back down for reincarnation, back down to earth. Now we're going to look at Pluto and Libra. So when you see Pluto and Libra, this soul has to learn how to relate to others as equals. They have to learn how reality exists from another person. So their partnerships might be intense. The reason why their partnerships are intense is so that they can learn change and growth. So with friends and lovers, they'll need to examine their unconscious motives and aspects of relating. And they may also have revolutionary ideas about law, justice, and social issues. All right. So we did cover love, serious relationships. We covered past life. We covered finances, career, karma, things to work on, and special gifts this person has. Definitely psychic gifts and the gift to tap into the world around them, but also the universe. Like somebody like Sophia Stewart. Like she had the ability to tap into the universe, not just planet Earth, but she knew stuff. So Sophia Stewart knew stuff that was probably hundreds, possibly thousands of years ahead of what we were at that time. Without her, there wouldn't have been a Matrix movie or Matrix movies or a Terminator or a Total Recall. All of that really came from Sophia Stewart. All right, this does conclude this natal chart analysis. And again, now the person should look it over, get some questions going, things like that. So then when we have the final part, which is the phone consultation, they'll be in a better place to ask and understand. And I've been doing this for a long time. That's why I said that. It wasn't personal. Because they sent me an email. Also, I got sales and things going on. So make sure you're on the channel Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. As you know, if you're keeping up with me, I've had a lot of stuff going on with the white sun and the yellow sun and person I work with at the job and stuff. Because that's how this stuff really works. It's not always a love story as much as it is, as I just said, getting to where you're supposed to be in this lifetime. And that's why they said about Pluto and Libra. Sometimes it's about getting to where you're supposed to be in this lifetime. Remember, Pluto and Saturn are lesson teachers. So you always want to remember, what is my lesson? What am I supposed to be learning? Because that's really why you're here. And when you start to learn your lessons, the other stuff is not as hard. But if you just go, where's my twin? What about my twin? Why is my twin? If that's the only thing you're looking at, you're not learning the messages. You're not learning your lessons. And that's why it's not working. And you find yourself going into separation a lot. This is Gat. God bless.